The Middle East is not weak, not broken, not lost in the shadows of the past. It is waking up a force that has been stirring beneath the surface, waiting, watching, preparing for the moment to rise. For too long, the world has told this region a story of despair, conflict, and defeat. But those stories miss the grit beneath the surface, the relentless spirit that refuses to be crushed, the unyielding resolve that has shaped civilizations for thousands of years. This is not a land of surrender, it is a land of awakening. You see, strength is not born from ease or comfort, it is forged in fire. The Middle East has known fire centuries of struggle, turmoil, and test after test that would break the will of many. Yet here it stands, breathing life into an ancient heritage of resilience and power. History teaches us that true strength emerges not when everything is perfect, but when everything is falling apart and you choose to stand anyway. The past is littered with empires that crumbled under pressure, yet here lies a place that birthed some of the greatest legacies of humanity, from the ink that recorded the earliest laws, to the genius of scholars who lit the path of knowledge for the world. This awakening is not about vengeance, it's about vision. It's about reclaiming identity in a world that tried to erase it. Like the great inventors Edison and Tesla, who refused to accept the impossible, the Middle East is refusing to accept the narrative of weakness. Like Ford revolutionized industry by transforming how we see and move the world, this region is stepping out of old frames. This awakening is the sound of a continent shaking off chains that were never meant to hold it forever. Look around. The youth of today, the next generation, are waking up with eyes wide open, fueled by knowledge, technology, and a hunger to rewrite their future. The global village is no longer distant. Information flows faster than borders, ideas spread like wildfire, and with it comes an unstoppable momentum. They are not waiting for permission. They are not sitting idle. They are building, creating, and fighting, not with weapons alone, but with ambition, resilience, and vision. And here is the truth that echoes in every waking soul. Strength begins in the mind. Before any victory, before any breakthrough, there must be a mindset that refuses to yield. The mindset that says, I am not what the world says I am. I am the maker of my own destiny. Like Lincoln, who faced the greatest civil war this nation has seen and emerged with a vision to bind the broken, the people here are stitching their scars into armor. Belief is the furnace where purpose is forged. But belief alone is not enough. Clarity must cut through the noise like a blade. Clarity about who you are, what you stand for, and what you will never surrender. This clarity turns fog into focus, confusion into purpose. It turns wandering into marching. Like Carnegie, who saw opportunity where others saw only industry and labor, clarity transforms struggle into strategy. The Middle East's awakening is driven by this sharp focus. The focus on progress, on rebuilding, on innovation, and on uniting disparate voices into a single roaring anthem of change. Purpose is the fuel that drives discipline, the relentless, unyielding discipline to show up every day and do what needs to be done. The same discipline that moved men like Jocko Willink from the darkest trenches to the heights of leadership. Discipline is not a punishment, it is freedom. Freedom to create, to grow, to overcome every obstacle in the path. It is the bridge between dreams and reality. When the world expects failure, discipline says, watch me. It pushes past fatigue, past doubt, past fear. The Middle East is waking up through discipline, through hard work, through commitment, and through the refusal to quit. Action is the hammer that drives the nail of change into the bedrock of history. Ideas and beliefs are useless without action. Like Disney, who built an empire from a sketch and a dream, the Middle East is taking steps, bold steps, into new industries, new technologies, and new futures. Action carves out opportunity from uncertainty. It turns talk into results. This region is no longer content to be a footnote in someone else's story. It is writing its own chapter, one stroke at a time, one day at a time. Gratitude might seem out of place in this fierce awakening, but it is the quiet power that fuels resilience. Gratitude for the past, for the lessons learned, for the hardships endured. It does not weaken ambition, it strengthens resolve. It turns pain into wisdom. Gratitude is the anchor in the storm, reminding us that every struggle builds something greater. The Middle East, despite its trials, knows gratitude. It knows that every fall is a chance to rise stronger. Adaptability is the weapon of the awakened. History has shown us that those who refuse to bend break. Those who adapt endure. Resilience without flexibility is brittle. Resilience with adaptability is unstoppable. The Middle East is learning to pivot, to evolve, to innovate in ways the world never expected. Like great leaders who reinvented their path amidst chaos, the region's awakening is defined by its ability to learn, to change, and to fight smarter. Learning is the foundation of all growth. The greatest minds from Edison to Lincoln never stopped learning, questioning, improving. The Middle East's strength lies in its willingness to embrace knowledge, to seek out new ideas, to be a student of the world even while holding tight to its own identity. This hunger for learning powers the transformation from survival to success. This awakening is not loud. It is steady, relentless, and inevitable. It is the sound of a people reclaiming their narrative, rebuilding their futures, and rising from the ashes of doubt and despair. The Middle East is not weak. It is waking up, and when it does, it moves the world. This is a call to the warriors of mindset, to the builders of dreams, to those who refuse to settle. The Middle East's awakening is a testament to the power of belief, discipline, action, and resilience. It is proof that strength is not measured by the absence of struggle, but by the courage to stand in the face of it and say, "I am here, I am ready, I will rise." The world watches, but the true power lies in the quiet determination that never gives up. This is a force that can't be stopped, because it is born from something deeper than politics or conflict. It is born from the soul, a soul awakened and unbreakable. When the Middle East rises, it does not just rise for itself. It rises as a beacon of strength, of hope, and of unyielding spirit to all who have been told they are weak, forgotten, or powerless. The Middle East is not weak. It is waking up, and it will change everything. Stand with it, believe in it, become part of that unstoppable force, because waking up is the first step. The next is to never go back to sleep. There is no greater battlefield than the one within your own mind. The Middle East's awakening begins there in the quiet hours when doubt whispers and fear tries to anchor the soul. This is where the war is won or lost. History's greatest leaders didn't conquer armies, they conquered themselves. They mastered the chaos inside so they could command the storms outside. Look at Lincoln, standing alone in a fractured nation, facing enemies not just on the battlefield, but within his own doubts and the fears of a divided people. He chose clarity over confusion, purpose over despair, and through relentless discipline, he shaped the future. The Middle East's rise echoes this same story, one of internal conquest that births external power. Discipline is the backbone of this transformation. It's not a word whispered lightly, it's a roar in the silence. Discipline means showing up when every fiber of your body begs for rest. It means holding the line when the pressure mounts and the easy path calls your name. The Middle East is learning this truth anew, forging strength through daily sacrifice and unshakable resolve. Like Jocko says, discipline equals freedom. Freedom to create, to rebuild, to reclaim what was lost. But discipline alone is not enough. Purpose must burn so fiercely it blinds doubt and ignites action. The purpose here is bigger than politics, bigger than borders. It's a purpose woven into the fabric of history and blood to rise, to endure, to thrive. Purpose pulls you through darkness. It is the fuel that powers every step forward. Like Edison, who faced failure after failure before lighting up the world, the people of this region are lighting their own path forward, refusing to be defined by setbacks. Action is the language of the awakened. Words are wind, but action is thunder. It crashes through barriers, shatters old expectations, and carves new realities. The Middle East's transformation is not a silent shift. It's a movement built on relentless action. From entrepreneurs innovating in desert cities to scholars rewriting futures in quiet libraries, action pulses in every corner. This is the sound of a region refusing to wait for change. It is the change. Resilience flows through this awakening like a river carving canyons through stone. It is not fragile or fleeting. It is raw, brutal, and eternal. Resilience is born from pain but refuses to be consumed by it. It turns scars into medals and wounds into wisdom. The Middle East's history is etched with resilience, a testament to the unbreakable spirit of its people. When faced with devastation, they rebuild. When faced with chaos, they adapt. When faced with darkness, they become the light. Gratitude might seem an unlikely companion to fierce ambition, but it is the silent strength beneath the roar. Gratitude honors the past while fueling the future. It keeps pride balanced with humility and power tethered to purpose. It reminds us that every battle fought, every sacrifice made, was not in vain. The Middle East's gratitude is a quiet fire, a steady heartbeat beneath the thunderous rise. Adaptability is the edge that cuts through the impossible. Like a warrior who reads the battlefield and moves with precision, this awakening adapts to shifting tides. It embraces new ideas, technology, and strategies without losing sight of ancient wisdom. It understands that survival is not just endurance but evolution. Like Ford revolutionized transport by rethinking the assembly line, the Middle East is revolutionizing itself by rethinking what is possible. Learning is the compass that guides this journey. The greatest empires fell because they stopped learning, stopped growing. The Middle East's rebirth is powered by a hunger for knowledge, from science to arts, from innovation to tradition. This hunger drives transformation and opens doors that once seemed sealed shut. The people here are students and teachers in a continuous cycle of growth. This awakening is not a moment, but a movement, slow, steady, and unstoppable. It is the quiet before the storm and the roar that follows. It is the reclaiming of power, the rewriting of stories, and the forging of a future born from strength, wisdom, and unyielding will. When the Middle East wakes, it shakes the foundations of the world. It reminds us all that true strength comes not from peace alone, but from struggle, discipline, and the relentless pursuit of purpose. It proves that no force can break a people who refuse to be broken. So stand with this awakening. Let it remind you that within every hardship lies the seed of power. Within every setback, the spark of victory. Within every soul, the potential to rise. This is not a story of weakness. It is a story of awakening, fierce, fearless, and unstoppable. The Middle East is not weak. It is waking up, and the world will never be the same. The rise of any great force always begins with a refusal to accept the status quo. The Middle East's awakening is exactly that refusal, a rejection of complacency, defeatism, and the narratives imposed by others. History is not written by those who wait for permission. It is claimed by those who seize the moment with iron will and sharp focus. Think of the great visionaries like Carnegie, who saw a future beyond the smokestacks and steel mills. He didn't wait for opportunity, he built it. The same fire burns now in the hearts of those shaping the Middle East's tomorrow. This is not a place waiting to be saved. It is a place ready to save itself, ready to lead, innovate, and stand as a pillar of strength in a turbulent world. Strength is not merely physical, it is a mindset that conquers fear and doubt. The Middle East's people are reclaiming this mindset, shedding the chains of defeat and embracing the discipline to rise. Like Jocko Willink teaches, discipline is the bridge from where you are to where you want to be. It is the daily grind, the relentless pursuit of excellence, the refusal to accept anything less than your best. This discipline is the backbone of the awakening, a quiet power driving explosive change. Purpose is the engine that powers this journey. Without purpose, even the strongest falter, but purpose aligned with belief becomes unstoppable. It creates clarity where once there was chaos. It turns vision into reality. The Middle East is waking up with purpose, not for fleeting gains but for enduring legacy. This purpose echoes the resolve of Lincoln, who held a nation together against impossible odds. It fuels the march forward, steady and unyielding. Action is the proof of purpose. Ideas and dreams mean nothing without the courage to act. The Middle East's awakening is defined by action, bold, intentional, relentless. Whether it is in the boardrooms of growing cities or the fields where ideas take root, action is the rhythm beating at the heart of transformation. It breaks barriers and builds bridges, turning aspiration into achievement. Gratitude anchors the spirit in this storm of change. It is the quiet strength that tempers ambition with humility. Gratitude for the past, for the lessons learned, for the sacrifices made. This balance of ambition and gratitude is the secret to sustained resilience. It keeps the heart steady and the mind clear, even when the winds howl. Adaptability is the sharp edge of survival and success. The Middle East knows that the future belongs not to the strongest who resist change, but to the smartest who adapt and evolve. This region is learning to flow with the currents of change, to harness technology, culture, and innovation without losing the essence of its identity. Like Ford redefined industry by embracing new methods, this awakening redefines what it means to be strong. Learning fuels this fire. From the wisdom of ancient scholars to the breakthroughs of modern thinkers, the Middle East's strength lies in its relentless quest for knowledge. This commitment to learning transforms obstacles into opportunities and dreams into realities. It is the compass guiding every step of the awakening. The Middle East's awakening is not a whisper, but a roar, a call to those who refuse to be bound by history's darkest chapters. It is a testament to the power of mindset, discipline, purpose, and action fused with gratitude, adaptability, and relentless learning. This force rising is unstoppable. It is the awakening of a region, a people, and a spirit that will change the course of history. Stand with it, believe in it, become part of it, because the Middle East is not weak. It is waking up, and when it does, everything changes. Wakefulness is a choice, a decision to see clearly, to refuse numbness, to reject the comfortable lies that whisper, "It's too hard, you're not ready, wait for another day." The Middle East is choosing wakefulness. It is standing tall amidst the wreckage of doubt, of pain, of scars passed down through generations, and saying enough. This is not the time for quiet despair or silent surrender. This is the time for boldness, for clarity, for relentless forward motion. Strength is not merely a gift, it is a habit. It is built in the grind of early mornings and late nights, in the discipline to do what must be done, even when there is no applause. Like Edison, who failed 1,000 times but never failed to try again, the Middle East's rise is rooted in the refusal to quit. It is this iron will, this dogged persistence, that defines true power. Clarity is the beacon cutting through the fog of uncertainty. In the noise of politics, conflict, and chaos, the awakened find clarity in purpose. Purpose sharpens the mind and steels the heart. It is the compass that guides through storms. This is the clarity Lincoln held a vision so clear that even when the nation threatened to break apart, he held it together with sheer force of will. The Middle East is reclaiming that clarity, focusing on a future beyond division, beyond old wounds. Discipline is the engine powering every step forward. It is the grind, the routine, the sacrifice unseen by the world but known deeply by those who rise. Jocko's truth is simple: discipline equals freedom. It is through discipline that dreams find legs, that visions find form, and that nations find strength. The Middle East's awakening is a testament to this principle, a daily commitment to show up, to work, to fight for what must be built. Action transforms all of this: the mindset, the clarity, the discipline into reality. Without action, even the strongest belief is hollow. The Middle East's rise is visible in every new venture, every bold idea, every refusal to settle for less. Like Disney, who created worlds where none existed before, this awakening is creative, fierce, and unrelenting. It reshapes the landscape of possibility. Gratitude keeps the soul anchored amidst the turbulence. It is not weakness but strength, the quiet acknowledgement of what has been lost and what remains to be gained. Gratitude fosters resilience by reminding us why we fight, why we endure. The Middle East's gratitude for its history, its culture, its people, is the foundation upon which its future is built. Adaptability is the sharp blade cutting through the impossible. It is the willingness to change course, to innovate, to embrace the new without losing the essence of the old. This flexibility is the hallmark of survival and success. Like Ford revolutionized industry by rethinking the assembly line, the Middle East rethinks its path with innovation and wisdom. Learning is the heartbeat of this transformation. The quest for knowledge fuels growth, ignites innovation, and sustains resilience. The Middle East's people embrace this hunger, becoming students of the world even as they hold tight to their unique identity. Learning is the bridge from the past to the future. This awakening is not a moment but a movement steady, sure, and unstoppable. It is the reclaiming of power, the rewriting of narrative, and the forging of a new destiny. The Middle East is not weak. It is waking up, and when it does, it changes everything. Stand with this awakening. Be part of the force that refuses to sleep. Because once you wake, there is no going back. The Middle East is waking up, and the world will never be the same. This awakening is not born from comfort. It is carved from hardship, the relentless grind of history's heaviest trials, the weight of expectations, the scars left by conflict and loss. But it is within that very pressure that diamonds are formed. Like Carnegie, who turned struggle into empire, the Middle East is forging its future from the crucible of its past. Strength is never given. It is earned in the fire of perseverance. Every story of rise and redemption shares the same heartbeat, belief, not blind faith, but the fierce belief in possibility. The belief that the next chapter can be written differently, that the future is not dictated by the past but created by the actions of today. This belief fuels the spirit of a region ready to reclaim its place, not as a victim of circumstance, but as an architect of destiny. Mindset is the battlefield where victory begins. The Middle East's resurgence is rooted in a mindset that rejects defeat and embraces responsibility. Like Jocko Willink teaches, taking ownership of your reality is the key to mastery. No one else writes your story, you do. This mindset transforms obstacles into opportunities, setbacks into setups for greater leaps. Clarity sharpens this mindset, cutting through the noise of doubt and distraction. It reveals the path forward with unwavering focus. Visionaries like Ford didn't build success by wandering aimlessly, they saw clearly what others missed. The Middle East's awakening is fueled by this same clarity, a laser focus on rebuilding, innovating, and uniting under shared purpose. Purpose is the flame that burns through fatigue and fear. It is the reason to rise when the world whispers surrender. Purpose turns discipline into devotion, making every sacrifice meaningful. The Middle East's people are fueled by a purpose bigger than themselves, a legacy of resilience, creativity, and strength that spans millennia. Discipline is the daily grind where purpose is made real. It is the silent warrior that shows up long before dawn and fights long after dusk. Like Edison's endless experiments, it is persistence in motion. Discipline breaks chains, builds habits, and forges leaders. The Middle East's transformation is powered by this unyielding discipline, the refusal to rest until victory is claimed. Action is the hammer driving change into the bedrock of reality. Ideas are lifeless without action's pulse. The Middle East's awakening is the sound of action, bold, relentless, uncompromising. From startups shaking global markets to communities rebuilding from rubble, action is the heartbeat of this new dawn. Gratitude grounds this movement. It balances ambition with humility, strength with grace. Gratitude honors what was lost and celebrates what remains: the culture, the heritage, the spirit. It transforms pain into wisdom and scars into stories of triumph. The Middle East's gratitude is a quiet fire that fuels endurance. Adaptability is the sword that cuts through uncertainty. The future belongs to those who can bend without breaking. The Middle East is learning to adapt with fierce intelligence, blending ancient wisdom with modern innovation. Like great leaders who reinvented their worlds, this awakening is flexible, resilient, and forward-thinking. Learning is the river that nourishes growth. It flows through every effort, every plan, every dream. The Middle East's rise is fueled by a hunger to know more, do better, be stronger. This thirst for knowledge transforms potential into power. The Middle East is waking up not as a whisper, but as a roar that shakes the foundations of the world. It is a force born from mindset, belief, clarity, purpose, discipline, action, gratitude, adaptability, and relentless learning. This is the story of strength rediscovered, of spirit unbroken, of a future reclaimed. The Middle East is not weak. It is waking up, and it will change everything. This is the moment where history pauses just for a breath before the storm breaks. The Middle East stands at the edge of a new dawn, not fragile, not fearful, but fierce and unyielding. It is the awakening of a people who have carried the weight of centuries and refused to be crushed beneath it. Like the great leaders who shaped the world, Lincoln, Edison, Carnegie, Forward they are rising, not because the path is easy, but because they have chosen to own it, to fight for it, and to forge it with discipline and purpose. There is power in this awakening, power born from scars turned into strength, power born from belief that refuses to die, power born from relentless action, discipline, and an unshakable vision. This is not a fleeting flame, it is an inferno that will burn through doubt and division. The world may watch with skepticism, may question the strength of this rise, but true strength is not always loud. It is the quiet conviction that no matter the odds, no matter the pain, you will stand. You will fight, you will rise. The Middle East is waking up with that conviction, a force that will not be ignored. So to the warriors of mindset, to the builders of dreams, to those who refuse to settle for less, stand tall with this awakening. Draw strength from it. Let it remind you that the greatest power comes not from the absence of struggle, but from the courage to face it head on. The Middle East is not weak, it is waking up, and when it rises, the world will never be the same. This is more than a moment, this is a movement, and it has just begun.